I'm so proud of me. Put the streets on top where they supposed to be. The sky is the limit, that's what Jesus said.
Hey, what's up? It's your man Kev Easy, man. This time around, we talking about Carmelo Anthony. Shout out to Carmelo Anthony. He's being inducted into the Hall of Fame. First ballot. This is fire. Reason being is because this is the ultimate goal for a pro athlete, right? I know a lot of people say, it's a championship. It's a championship. Like, yeah. But one thing about a championship is if you win one, you have an opportunity to win another one. When you are inducted into the Hall of Fame, first ballot, you don't get inducted into a Hall of Fame again, unless it's, another team, your team or whatever. But the actual Basketball Hall of Fame, you only get one time to get that moment, if you're inducted in. So shout out to Carmelo. Carmelo's career, and it's dope for me because Carmelo's my favorite basketball player of all time. This is a guy that I stole my offensive game from. You feel me? Like, I stole all his moves. I used it. I became a fan during Syracuse, that run. I remember Sports Illustrated. They had LeBron on the covers, but they had alternate covers as well. And shout out to my moms, you feel me? Rest in peace. But she was in tune of what I liked, you feel me? She knew that I favored Carmelo Anthony. So I ended up getting the Sports Illustrated covers with Carmelo on it. I kind of wish I still had them to these days, man, to this day. But so I'm following Carmelo. He gets into the NBA, gets drafted to the Nuggets. And to me, I feel like his tenure with the Nuggets was his best opportunity to get a championship because of the teams he had, the way he played. I feel like his style was better suited to win on the West than when he got to the East. And he just had better teammates, man. Granted, a lot of his teammates ended up joining him on the Knicks, but they were older, you feel me? But I feel like the Nuggets had opportunities. I remember the battles against the Jazz with Carlos Boozer and Darren Williams. I remember the battles with Kobe and the Lakers, especially when it came down to that Western Conference Finals. It was so close, man, but Kobe and Powell couldn't be denied down the stretch. And the Nuggets really had a George Karl problem, right? I feel like if the Nuggets had a different coach, it could have been any coach, to be honest with you. I feel like the Nuggets get past the Lakers that year, but George Karl was so he's an egomaniac, and he wanted everything to be done his way or the right way or whatever. And it just doesn't work. Like, he has an issue with his star players everywhere he went, but that I feel like that halted that Nuggets team. Not only did I feel that way, multiple players from Carmelo, from JR, from Kenyon Martin, from I even think Chauncey said something about it, but there was a lot of the players over there that felt that George Karl was not the downfall, but he was the reason why they couldn't get over the hump because he wouldn't adjust properly, right? But Carmelo's Denver career, it didn't end well, and I feel like that's the reason why Jokic has 15. They just gave it to Jokic. Like, hey, man, we just going to give somebody in the second round Carmelo's number this to show him up. Not thinking that Jokic was going to be this monster that he is now. But overall, I think Carmelo's Denver tenure was solid, especially when you have to compare him to his brothers, LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh, people in his draft class, right? Those guys. Where LeBron team didn't make the playoffs the first year. Carmelo took his 17-win team to the playoffs his rookie year. We got snubbed for Rookie of the Year. That was a popularity award right there for that year. Just the amount of success he was able to have. He was always in the playoffs for the most part over there. His only big, like the only brick wall that he really faced was the Lakers and the Spurs. And those two, the Lakers and the Spurs, was battling. Basically, it was a point in time where whoever came out the West out of those two teams won the championship. So Melo had a tough time there, but to me, I feel like it was successful based off where he took that organization, right? From where that organization was before he got there. Then he goes to the Knicks. The trade, I'm I think junior or senior going into in high school at the time, and I was kind of skeptical on the trade because I was like, yo, they gave up a whole lot of players. Like what? But I was like, all right, maybe Amari and Melo can do something, right? But Amari ended up getting hurt, and that never really panned out. Then you have a whole bunch of the Knicks had no real culture when Carmelo was there. When they brought in Phil Jackson, that was probably like the worst decision ever. The only I take that back. They had a culture with Knicks tape when it was Melo, JR, Ahmad, and Tyson Chandler, Novak, like those type of guys, right? But it had a Phil Jackson problem, wanted Coach Mike Woodson and others to coach how he wanted to be Pat Riley, and it didn't pan out well, man. So you saw like you saw the Knicks be able to take a step, but I really believe that was because you had veterans like Chauncey, veterans like Jason Kidd, like the OGs at this point, that was able to help the Knicks go into, this ultimately the second round to lose to Indiana, man. But other than that, Carmelo on every given night gave you everything, despite of what the organization did to help him. And even that kind of didn't end well because of the whole pushing out thing. And then after that, Carmelo bounced around from OKC to Portland to Houston to, I think he had a Wizards jersey. He didn't fully go there, and then the Lakers. So the last few seasons of Carmelo's career didn't end how I wanted it to end as a fan of Carmelo's, but overall, you can't deny that he definitely made his mark. Because without Carmelo Anthony, I don't believe you have a guy like Paul George. You don't have a guy like KD. You don't have a guy like, a couple of other guys that's a three that was focused on having a bag offensively, right? But yeah, man, Carmelo definitely left his mark. Hall of Fame. I always said this, and this is before he even got in the top 10. I was like, yo, to me, in my opinion, if you go through your whole career healthy and you finish your career in the top 10 of what you do best, I feel like you had a Hall of Fame career. You can live with not having a championship. Carmelo, I think when he retired, he was maybe 9th or 8th. I think he's 10th right now. So, man, well-deserved. I cannot wait for his speech. Low-key want to figure out if people can go, because I would definitely pull up. Yeah, man, I just aged myself out with that, man. But shout out to Carmelo Anthony, man. Hell of a career. They broke the waiting process just for you. I know LeBron is going to one-up it because once he retired, they're going to put him on the ballot that year. So enjoy this right now while you can, bro, man. Salute to you. 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, one of my favorite podcasts, man. Doing a hell of a job in your next career. He wants to be an owner of the Wizards. Now, if he got that bag and he was able to put that bag together and he's able to do that, I think he could turn that around. I'll be rooting for him, man. But shout out to Carmelo Anthony, man. Hall of Fame first ballot. Easy said, it don't matter what they say. It's all about what you do.